Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So if you're new to the channel, don't know what's going on, our names are Wyatt and Tayla and we've been travelling Australia for 10 months.
10 months?
10 months, yeah, 10 months now in our troopy with our two border collies, Loki and Akila. So in this video we're actually doing a breakdown of exactly how much money we have spent in those 10 months. It's a little bit eye-watering, but...
We did do a video on this, probably 5 months ago, 6 months ago. But we've done a lot of kilometres since then, learned a whole lot of different things since then, so we're going to do a bit of an updated budget for you guys and see how well we're tracking to what we thought we would do.
Yeah, so basically we're from South Australia, so we started there, then we did Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland, went down the middle back to see family in South Australia, and now we're in Western Australia in Bustleton, parked up here working for a little bit. So yeah, been working for about 3 months now, so
which has flown by.
7 months roughly of travel. So yeah, this is sort of how much we spent in those travel months, not what we've spent while we've been parked up here. So
yeah. So probably the biggest question we get asked in regards to our budget is how much did we save up before we left for our trip? We saved up $50,000, which does seem like a lot of money.
You definitely don't need that much.
No, you can do it on a lot less.
But we wanted to make sure we did have some money to come home to as well. So it's not, it wasn't ever going to be $50,000, let's spend it all now. We wanted to make sure we still had a bit of money sitting there for when we finished.
We also had a lot of expenses at home to cover as well. So like Taylor said, the $50,000 wasn't just to cover travel expenses. We also had things like our mortgage. Now our house is getting rented out, but we still make a loss in that each financial year, so we had to cover that. I had a business loan for the restaurant I had part shares in, and there's a few things like that that we still had reoccurring at home while we were travelling, so we had to set some money aside for that as well. Yeah.
Now we have, from the start, we've been really particular about recording our budget, so we have a note in our phone with every week, every item, you know, everything goes in there, so we've got sections, you know, fuel, food, miscellaneous, whatever. We record everything, not because we're not really strict on our budget, like each week what we spend changes, yeah. But we just wanted to see for our own, you know, see for ourselves where our money was, you know, being spent, what we were doing, and also to help you guys out because we watch a lot of videos like this before we started.
Yep.
So in our expenses, we do include things like our car registration, our car insurance, our phone bills, any subscriptions, Netflix and Stan we get from family, but you know, like music, what do you call it? Music editing.
Epidemic sound and stuff like that for
music
YouTube,
for YouTube videos and things like that, all those subscriptions. We do include stuff like that because, you know, we're obviously still, you know, you need car insurance, you need car registration. You're going to have to pay for it while you're traveling, so it should be included in your budget.
Absolutely. Cool. Alright, so 23 weeks is what we've, about 23 weeks, yeah, is what we've done. We've done 5 states in that time. So basically left from South Australia, did Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, cut across to Northern Territory, Northern Territory border, and then came down back home for a week or two, and we've made our way over into the southwest of WA now. So a lot of kilometres in that time. We have done 22,360 kilometres in that time, and over those 23 weeks we have spent $21,334. So yeah, that actually works out to be $927.59 per week. That changes a bit to what we thought we'd spend before we left.
Yeah, what was our budget?
We had it written down.
$760 per week.
Yeah. So
we obviously didn't take in, well, I mean, fuel was expensive when we left, but we had hoped it would get cheaper, which it hasn't.
Which it definitely hasn't.
Groceries have gone up in price since we left, so things like that.
So on average, we're $169 over budget each week.
Which I think is pretty good.
Considering inflation and what's happened since we've been gone, it's not too bad.
Obviously the cost of living. obviously the cost of living has increased quite a bit, like every aspect has increased, so I think that's pretty good.
Yep. So we'll go through basically what we've overspent on and what we've underspent on now. So we divide like Taylor said, we divide up into categories. So fuel, we're averaging $301 a week. That includes a lot of days that we did big driving on, everything like that. So yeah, we're $101 over budget for that. We budgeted $200. Our food, we're actually coming in under, surprisingly. We set out thinking we were going to spend $154. Sorry, $154.
That's very
very exact.
Very exact.
$150. And we're only spending $142. So we're $7 under budget.
Some weeks, obviously, you know, with your fuel, with your food. Some weeks are more expensive. Some weeks are a lot cheaper. Just sort of depends on what you're doing and what you need. But that's pretty good for food.
We set out with $50 for the dogs each week. That was to cover anything from veterinary stuff, food. Luckily, they haven't gone to the vet yet, which is surprising. And also food, kennels and stuff like that as well.
Vaccinations and flea and tick prevention and wormers. Everything to do with the dogs.
Yep. so yeah, $5 over on that one, which isn't too bad.
Yeah, just touching on that, it's not that expensive to travel with your dogs. We do kennels and dog sitting occasionally, so $50 a week extra for the dogs, which really isn't much, and that's for 2 border collies. So
yeah, definitely doable.
Yeah.
Accommodation, we set out with a $50 budget per week as well. In hindsight, that we'd want to be free camping as much as possible, and we've stuck to our guns on that one. So we've come in at $41 a week, so $8 under budget,
so
which is fantastic.
With accommodation, like you said, we do a lot of free camps, but this also includes like staying in national parks, caravan parks, which we don't do often, but it is nice when you want a decent shower and to do your laundry, and other times you just have no choice. What else? Like hip camps and things like that. So yeah. Yep.
Probably the one that was the next biggest shock for us, not so much shock, but we just didn't factor it in before we left, was repairs and maintenance. Now, a lot of this stuff hasn't been actual repairs. A lot of it has been preventative maintenance, but it needs to be done nonetheless. So we set out thinking we were going to spend maybe $70 a week. We have managed to blow that out by over double to $153 a week.
But keeping in mind, this was, like you said, preventative stuff. So, and also we left with an air conditioner that didn't work properly. We didn't need it on the first part of the trip because it was winter, but we did know that was something that we were going to have to fix. How much did that cost?
I've got some of these big ones here. So on our 13th week, we did a major service and the valve adjustments, which is a big job. Which we knew we were going to have to do. So that was $860 for that one. But there was no history of having valve adjustments done or checked on this car. So it's something that I just wanted to get done. So we bit the bullet and did that. Once we got up towards Cairns, we decided that it was getting a bit too hot and we should probably do something about the air conditioner. So the annoying thing with air conditioner is the diagnosis with it. So we saw 3 different mechanics before we finally got it done. $696 in total for that one. And then if you've also watched our Lawn Hill video, we snapped our shock absorber on the way back on the road, going a little bit too fast into a ditch. Yeah, well, you were in the car too. But surprisingly,
that was, did you say how much that was?
$560.
So that was the only unexpected thing, though.
That was better than I thought that was going to cost, though. Yeah,
you've done also like wheel bearings and stuff like that here and there, and changing filters, but that was the only unexpected thing. Touch wood.
Now, a couple of videos back when we were in South Australia, you would have seen that we did a pretty major service, a bit of a front end overhaul with the steering and suspension. So we did swivel hub rebuild, pan hard rod bushes, all those sort of things. That was just having a bit of a slop in the front. Now, our family is got their own mechanic workshop, so we managed to just pay for parts and got free labour, helped my uncle do it. So that saved us an astronomical amount. We didn't include that in this budget just because that was something that we were going to do before we left. We just ran out of time to do. So that was never something that it was always going to happen. But it was just when we did it was a different thing. But yes, try and make sure most of those things are done before you go. Obviously, the more remote places you go, things are going to cost more. You don't want to have those problems before you leave. So whenever we're in any big towns, before we're going to head out bush or a bit more rural, we just think like, okay, what's close to being due, or what can we do to do a bit of preventative work. Next thing is alcohol.
if you don't know, Wyatt has graduated uni as a winemaker, so he loves not only wine but pretty much all alcohol. This is alcohol free though, so we've budgeted $50 a week on alcohol. This is mostly beers because you can't carry wine bottles very well.
You can, they're just smashed.
Yeah, so you can't carry them very well. So we actually spent about $37 a week on alcohol, so that's not too bad.
That's under a carton a week.
A lot of people don't drink at all, which, you know, that'd be nice, but we do enjoy a beer, especially when you're hot in the outback. So next on the list is eating out. So this is like anything Macca's,
This was
KFC.
our most accurate category,
Yeah,
actually.
literally. Macca's, KFC, pub meals. What else? Should we go?
Anything like
Yeah,
that, really.
anything that's not food that we bought from home, like your bakery stuff or whatever. So we budgeted $30 and we're coming at $30.08 a week. One category that we didn't budget for that sort of came up was housekeeping. So this is what do we include? Like laundry.
Yeah. Anything to keep the troopy clean, tidy, keep
Yeah.
ourselves clean and tidy, anything like that.
Yeah, filling up the gas, we put that in there as well.
No, that goes in miscellaneous. So that's the
Oh,
next
does
one.
it? Oh, okay.
But yeah,
But-
anything small like that.
Yeah.
We just didn't think of it. You think of your big things before you
Yeah.
travel, but it's these small things that you don't think
So
about.
we didn't budget anything for that, but I mean, we spend about $16.65 on that a week. Most of that is like your laundry, and a few other little bits and pieces, so that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Next is experiences. So we budgeted $50 a week for experiences, and we're at 51 and 31 cents. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. Experience is a bit of an interesting thing. So we're quite selective with what we do with experiences as well. There's a lot of things that we miss. There's a lot of things that we do that we didn't think we'd do as well. But so you need to sort of think about what's going to be important for you. So, for example, when we're up in Cairns with the Great Barrier Reef, we did want to do it, but it was sort of tossing up whether we spend all the money on that or we save it to do the whale sharks in Ningaloo, which was ultimately more important for us.
And for us, every time we do an experience, we also have to get 2 dogs watched as well.
Yep.
So, and then we have to not only, you know, drop them there, but we have to go to the experience, drive back, pick them up, and oftentimes go in the other direction. So it's not only the experience in itself, but also the cost of getting the dogs looked after and getting them to and from. Also, this includes like any tours or anything, but we also include like when we go to an island on a ferry or something like that. So this includes like Fraser Island, the barge, the 4-wheel drive permit, anything that's, you know, Rottnest, anything that's out of the usual week that's a bit of a treat sort of, I guess. We include that in the experiences.
Which, don't roll it out altogether, you've got to do these experiences, that's why you go in there.
Yeah.
But if you are trying to budget, be selective and maybe think about before you leave what you definitely do want to do, and then you can sort of prioritise those things. Cool. So we did touch on our phone bills. That obviously doesn't change, so that does cost a bit. It's $52 a week for us.
That's for both of our phones.
Both our phones together, but that will get cheaper with your changing plans.
That's
soon.
mainly because we do YouTube and stuff, so we need a lot of internet to upload the YouTube, so we do pay a bit extra for data, but yeah.
Yep, cool.
Last one.
And then the last one is insurances. So that is insurance on the car. We don't have health insurance, but also registration on the car as well.
Yeah,
so,
that comes in there as well, insurance and rego.
Yeah, $36 a month. So yeah, like we said, we budgeted $760. We're currently spending $927.
And then the last topic that we have in there is miscellaneous. So that's anything that doesn't fit in any of those categories. We budgeted, $20, and we're at $10.14 a week. So not too bad.
Yeah, so overall, we budgeted $760 before we left. We're currently spending $927 on average, which means we're $170 over. Now, it looks like a lot of money, but other people we've spoken to, they're coming in very similar with this as well. It all depends on how you want to travel, what sort of car you have. This car does cost a bit to run, but
that's there's obviously fuel's a big expense.
Yeah.
Probably our biggest,
it is our biggest expense.
But also that includes like when we crossed the Nullarbor, we spent $841 on fuel for that week. So
and then the week after we spent $540 as well on fuel down in Esperance.
So that's obviously going to push up your average. Some weeks we'll use hardly anything, but other weeks you use a lot.
Yeah.
So it just depends. We do travel quite quickly as well. We don't really like to stay in one, unless we love it, we don't really like to stay in one place for more than a night or two. So it depends how slow or how fast you travel.
Cool. So as we've mentioned, we have both currently stopped as well to work. So we did this for two reasons. This was always decided before we did our trip.
Yeah, and in this area too. So at the start of the video, we did mention we were parked up. I can't remember if we said where, but we are parked up in Bustleton at the moment. So Wyatt is working in Margaret River. He's graduated uni as a winemaker, like we said, so helping out down there for vintage. And I'm working in a town just a little bit further up as a nurse. So
Which is good. So Taylor's, being an agency nurse, has got a very attractive pay packet, which is helping us a lot. She also gets a lot of perks.
Yeah.
Similarly with me, doing a lot of overtime at the moment, which means I'm on good overtime wages as well.
And you get catering every day for your meals, so
Exactly.
you don't have to pay
Yeah.
for groceries right now.
We are paying for a rental at the moment, but we have to live somewhere. So
Yeah,
we were very lucky to actually get this house. As everybody knows, the rental situation is crazy wherever you go, particularly in this area as well.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
but that's another thing. We're both working quite a lot, and we don't really get a lot of days off together, so we're not spending that much while we're here, which is good. Because
Cool. Alright, so we're just going to go through, we did mention this on our other video, but these are probably some of our top tips in terms of getting your budgeting on track, and ways to help you get that budget down. So first of all, before you leave, and if you are planning a lap, get used to spending less money while you're at home. Go without any of those luxuries. Start cooking simple meals. Start doing all those sort of things. You're going to have to be doing that once you start traveling anyway. Accustomed, is that the word?
Yeah, accustomed.
Get yourself accustomed to living that lifestyle.
Yeah.
It will not only help you save money, but it won't be such a shock to you as well.
And also a bit of a no-brainer, but make sure you get out in the car or the van or whatever that you're going to be traveling in, because we did a lot of trips before we left for our lap and said, oh, yep, we forgot that, or no, we don't actually need that, we didn't use that. So yeah, you just get used to your setup and used to what it's like to live without a lot of things that you usually have.
So fuel being the biggest cost, obviously you want to try to reduce that as much as possible. It's easy to say don't travel as far, but it's if you're on time constraints or whatever, like you just want to travel faster like we do sometimes, or slower, the biggest thing you can probably do is get fuel apps. So ones like Petrol Spy, that will give you live updates basically of every fuel station around you, and you can sort of decide if you're going to get fuel in this town or the next town or different fuel stations. So when you're filling up 140 litres like us, 15 cents difference makes a lot of difference. So yeah, utilise that app. If you've got jerry cans or room for extra storage, fill them up while you've got cheap fuel. That makes a lot of difference as well. Now there's also apps, BP Me, which is BP's app. Ampol have also got their own app. Utilise your Coles Express 4 cents vouchers, all those sort of things. So they all work on sort of points basis.
And even if it's a couple dollars every time that you save, like it honestly adds up, like before you know it.
Definitely, it's not gonna save you, but it's a good way to start.
Yeah. Another one that we use, we're with CommBank. I'm not sure if all banks do it, but they probably do. But they have like cashback rewards, so we check these all the time. A lot of the times it's like spend $150 at Coles by this date, get $10 back, or like Domino's I think do a bit, which is when we're in a big town, we're busy, we're like, okay, yeah, we can get Domino's for like $5 or something. So yeah, check through your apps, see what cashback options there are, and even things like Uber Eats and Menulog, because they do a lot of really good deals as well, so utilize other things like that.
So yeah, we check that weekly. There is also other apps that I think are solely based on cashbacks as well. We haven't actually looked into that yet, but a lot of people are very savvy with it, and there is a lot of ways, like a lot of these things like Coles and fuel, all those sort of things you're going to be buying anyway. So just activate those offers, check them, activate them, and be proactive with it. Track your expenses. As you've seen my spreadsheets, what we do with notes and everything like that, we track ours very rigorously, and it pays off. You can soon see where you're spending too much money and start looking at ways to cut that down a bit.
What's the next one? Plan your meals for the week. Minimise your snacks. We don't really do that a lot.
We try to.
We try it. Learn new recipes. Get to know your spices to create even better food on a budget. Wise words. That's true. We're pretty boring creatures of habits. We mainly eat the same thing every week.
We spice it up though.
We do spice it up a bit, but yeah, like when you're shopping, just, you know, like a kilo of mince, you think, okay, yep, we can make burgers, we can make bolognese, we can make tacos, like, you know, chicken, obviously, things like that are so versatile. So just, yeah, really, like, we do have a note of breakfast, lunch and dinners of things that we just, you know, can have on repeat to make it a bit easier. And yeah, Wyatt is a great cook. I'm not so great, but Wyatt is very good, you know, like bolognese sauce and curries and all that, you know, creating everything from scratch. We just have a few basic spices and sauce bases like that, so
you can make things taste a lot better on a budget as well.
Exactly.
So
doesn't have to be expensive to be good.
Google some recipes. Google what can I make with this. So yeah, just go out your comfort zone a little bit and use some cheaper ingredients, and you can still make it taste beautiful. Very obvious one, but check weekly specials for wherever you're shopping, Coles, Woolies, Aldi, wherever it's going to be. Generally with Coles and Woolies being competitors, if something's not on sale at Coles, it will be at Woolies.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, they're around the corner from each other
We
anyway.
have found that it is good to stick to one supermarket where you can, because obviously of their loyalty programs and point system. Aldi, we did want to shop at Aldi, but we haven't actually found that many Aldis across Australia. So yeah, Aldi is great for saving money, but there's not many around. So yeah, you're pretty much always Coles or Woolies.
Next biggest one is, again, on the apps side of things, using your grocery apps. So like Flybuys, activate your offers on those again. You can get certain ones just for, you can get like 10,000 bonus points just for shopping 3 weeks in a row or something like that.
You would do anyway, but if you haven't got it activated, you're not going to get those points for it.
That's $10,000 worth of points, and not $10,000 as if you spent that much. We only found about this recently, thanks to TikTok. Everyday Rewards, so that's Woolworth's program, but they've got one called Everyday Rewards Extra. You pay for it. You can pay for a yearly subscription or a monthly.
Save a bit if you do yearly. Monthly was $7.
Monthly was $7, and I think yearly was $50.
$59, I think.
Something like that. Now, it might seem a little bit counterintuitive paying for a subscription like this, but it is honestly a very good one. So you get triple points in absolutely everything you buy, and then once a month you get 10% off your shop. So so
that's at Woolworths and Big W. You get 10% off either.
So with your 10% off, be smart when you do that. So obviously you're very tight for room in the car as well, but get your small items that are high ticket price.
Yeah.
Get your meats, get everything like that. So the last shop we did was a $200 shop. That's $20 off.
Yeah, so I think it's up to $500. Yep. So that's obviously $50 with your 10% off. So
yep. But don't get sucked into just buying things, because make sure you're buying them at the right price. Cool. Pre-plan your week, your route, your accommodation. This is one that's very easily overlooked, and for those of you that are already travelling that are watching this, you'll know how annoying it is trying to run around and find free camps and everything like that.
Yeah, so
plan that stuff out beforehand. You can waste so much money going back and forth all over town and trying to find different places to stay, and all that hard work that you've just done has been undone. So really pre-plan that stuff out.
So having dogs, this is something we've had to do anyway. We always need to be well prepared with the dogs to know if there are dog-friendly places to stay. But yeah, you don't want to be wasting your fuel trying to find a campsite or have nowhere to stay for the night because you haven't planned it. So
yeah, exactly.
So one thing we do is paid content as well. We've been doing a couple months now. We've had a few businesses reach out to us and, you know, whatever, they say, love your work, we want to send you something and we'll pay you to make some content for us. Now, most of the times it's just content that we make and give to them. We don't actually have to post it or anything. Sometimes it's, you know, a requirement, post it on your feed, but most of the time they just want the content for their website and their socials. So that's really good. We don't ever really reach out to anyone and say, can we do this or give us this for free? You know, it's just not something that we would do. But yeah, a lot of businesses reach out to us, which has been really good.
Know yourself as well when it comes to that. So know your capabilities. It's we found it quite hard at the start trying to work out our pricing, because most of these businesses come to you and ask you, we want you to do this. How much do you want for it?
Yeah.
And back yourself as well, but work out how much you think your time is worth. Worst case scenario, they say no.
Which has never happened to us. No. You know, we've especially at the start, we were like, well, should we do this price? Are they going to think it's too much? We might miss the opportunity. But then we thought, no, you know, we do work hard. It takes a lot of time to plan the content, get the content, edit the content, upload it, and all of that. So, and you want to make money from it. You know, you're not doing it for charity work. But we've never actually been turned down with a price. So
far,
yeah,
so good.
like you said, just back yourself. We do also have our own clothing business as well, so we get a bit of income from this. Wyatt's mum is an angel and she packs and sends all of your orders for us, so thanks do. But yes, that's another way we get some income on the road. I think
Cool.
that's it, isn't it, for income?
Pretty much, yeah.
We don't make money from YouTube yet, but
No.
we'd like to, so keep watching.
Thank you to all you subscribers so far. You are definitely helping us on our way. But yes, last point we're going to make, again, very obvious one. Free camp as much as possible. Not just free camping, low cost camping though as well. So there's no point traveling 30 kilometers out to a free camp where you could stay somewhere that's just as nice for $10 a night,
Yeah.
and it's right next to you. So think about how much time, fuel, all those sort of things you're gonna waste if you go out somewhere just because it's free.
Yeah.
Utilize things like Hip Camp. We've definitely started doing that a lot more lately. Sometimes you can get things that are $10 a night,
Yeah.
or $10 per person, something like that.
Yeah.
And you get your access to your showers and all those sort of things that you do in a caravan park. So
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of the time, obviously, national parks are cheaper to camp in than, you know, compared to a caravan park or something like that. So, yeah, but we do love free camping. It's not always possible. So,
yeah.
just try and do it when you can.
So what we think we're going to spend in the next half of our trip is going to be interesting. Being WA, being longer journeys, we think that this fuel cost is obviously going to blow out a little bit more again.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say. We probably think we're going to be doing bigger drives, but we're probably going to be staying places longer as well.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, but I think we're looking at around about 28,000. I think we sort of looked at.
I think so, especially in like the top end. There's a lot of things that we want to do, and a lot of, you know, things that will require the dogs to be watched. So
I think around about 12 to 13 months it will be in total by the time we get home.
yeah, so 18 months if you include our stopping and working, which is a bit of a working holiday, but yeah, not really including that in full travel.
And projections is around the $50,000 mark.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you can do it a lot cheaper than this. Like, people do it really cheap, but like we said, we like to move a lot, see a lot of different things. There's not really a lot of experiences that we'll turn down. Like, if it's something we want to do, we'll do it, because we've just said we're never going to be in this position again. We're never probably going to be, you know, in some of these places ever again, so we're not missing out. Food, we do like a lot of snacks and we treat ourselves a bit, so food you could do for a lot cheaper, but food is one thing that we love.
I still think we're pretty on track for food.
Oh, for sure, but you could definitely do it cheaper.
The type of car we have and the fuel that it uses is probably our biggest thing.
Yeah.
And how rigorous I like to be on maintenance. Wheel bearings, all those sort of things didn't have to be done.
Yeah.
I did them because I wanted to, and I wanted to know that I wouldn't run into that problem when we're out on the track.
But you also did them yourself, saving a lot of money. So Wyatt is very handy, very good with the car. So most things he can do himself, and he does. You've diagnosed a few things yourself, and lucky you're very good with carrying spares and backups. So you should probably do a vlog on this one day about what spares you should carry.
I think I might do that after the trip if we make it home with no problems.
Yeah, what troopy spares you should carry, because we've been saved quite a few times by your spares, but yeah, things like that were quite good. So yeah, that's how much money we've spent, how much money we think we're going to spend, but really you can, you know, it's your journey, it's your trip. You can do it for as cheap or as expensive as you like, and there is always the opportunity to work. Like, being a nurse, obviously I could work pretty much anywhere I want in Australia, but everywhere is screaming out for people to work, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Like, every single industry, so you can always work somewhere, do house sitting, whatever, and make a bit more money if and when you need to, and yeah, keep going for a while.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you have anything you'd want us to talk about, drop it down below. We're still working for a couple more weeks before we set off. So yeah, we'll anything you guys want to know, we'll maybe cover in another video or get back to you via comments. But yeah, it was good to do another video and let you in on this side of it again.
We'll do one at the end of our trip and
sum it all up and hopefully have
breakdown.
Blown it through the roof.
Hopefully we're below out what we're thinking we're going to spend, but we'll see.
But again, once in a lifetime thing, so
exactly.
Spend your money wisely and have fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks guys. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you are enjoying the videos and help us make some more money. Just joking. Thanks guys.